Hello, boys and girls. I have a special book that I'd like to read to you today. And we're talking about animals this week. And we read a book yesterday about butterflies and the life cycle of a butterfly. We know that butterflies lay eggs. Well, there are lots of animals that lay eggs. In fact, I have a book that I want to share with you called Chickens Aren't the Only Ones. And this one is a very old favorite by Ruth Heller, and it talks about which animals lay eggs. Okay. Chickens aren't the only ones. Chickens lay the eggs you buy. The eggs you boil or fry or dye. So you might do something like this. I know I'm going to be doing that with Eleonora later this week. We color eggs for Easter. Or leave alone so you can see what grew inside naturally. So if you don't color them, if you don't boil them to eat them or cook them, you can actually, not the eggs from the store, but when you're at the farm, some farmers don't fertilize the eggs and they grow into little chicks. Chickens aren't the only ones. What's the name of this animal? Good job if you thought peacock. And did you know that it's the male peacock that has all these beautiful feathers and not the female? So men like to strut their stuff and make themselves look super cool by these really neat feathers. And the girls are the ones that lay the eggs, but they don't have the fancy feathers. Every bird, wild or tame, does the same. So these are all different kinds of birds and they all lay eggs, like a turkey or a swan or ducks. The ostrich lays the largest egg. The hummingbird, the smallest. So a hummingbird is about the size of my thumb, and they lay the smallest type of eggs. And eggs come in all different shapes and sizes, depending on what animal lays it. Chickens aren't the only ones. Most snakes lay eggs, and lizards too, and crocodiles and turtles do. So we learned that sea turtles, but also land turtles, lay eggs. So they don't have live babies. They lay eggs that will hatch into an animal when they're ready. And dinosaurs, who are extinct, but they are reptiles too. So you have birds and reptiles that lay eggs. Frogs and toads and salamanders lay eggs. And when they hatch, they're tadpoles who grow legs and climb a lily pad just like their mom and dad. They don't have claws or scaly skins. They are called amphibians, meaning that they live both in the land and on water. That's what makes them an amphibian. Oh, look what else lay eggs. Fish eggs float up to the surface or sink to the bottom of the ocean floor. This mother seahorse lay her eggs into the father's pouch. He keeps them there until they hatch, and then he's through. I think that's nice of him, don't you? So the mom lays the eggs, but the father is the one who carries them until they hatch. But then they're on their own, so he doesn't teach them what to do. These fathers, too, are helping out by guarding eggs protected by that foamy mass that's floating by, and they won't leave until they're sure that all the eggs have hatched. So these are I used to have that kind of a pet fish, okay? And they're very, very protective. These don't look like eggs to me, but they were laid in the sea. This one by a shark, and this one by a ray is a mermaid's purse, they say. So sharks lay this kind of an egg. So this kind of a shark will lay this kind of an egg, and this ray will lay an egg that looks what they call a mermaid's purse. Kind of a funny name. The octopus is said to shed 100,000 eggs and then to hang them up in strings attached to rocks or caves. So an octopus, look at how many eggs they lay. The moon snail's eggs are mixed with sand to form this collar-looking band. So here, check that out. So that's a moon snail, and it lays this kind of bizarre collar-looking band, and that's where all the eggs are. Kind of funny. Oh, look what also lay eggs. Spiders wrap their eggs in sacks. So here's the spider sack. Snails, you know, are very slow, but they lay eggs that hatch and grow. And so do insects, who have 6 legs and lay many different kinds of eggs. This one will hatch into a hungry caterpillar who will grow and grow and grow and then climb up a stem and change into this, a chrysalis, and change again one summer morn. That's how a butterfly is born. Animals with fur or hair who nurse their young and don't lay eggs are known as mammals or mammalia. So here's a spiny anteater. All right, so if they don't lay eggs, they're called mammals, except, and then this is the duckbill platypus. But these are 2 exceptions, and they both live in Australia. So they are mammals, but they're the only 2 exceptions, and they lay eggs. Chickens aren't the only ones. There's no more to discuss. Everyone who lays an egg is oviparous. Can you say oviparous? Oviparous. It's a good word to know. So anything that lays an egg, we say they are oviparous. Animals who don't lay eggs have babies born alive and well, but that's another tale to tell. The end. So now what I'd like you to do is say that word again. What is an animal or any kind of insect, anything that lays an egg called? Oviparous. Very good. Oviparous. That means that they lay eggs. So think about all the different creatures you saw in this book and think about which one is your favorite. Which one were you most curious about? See if you can look up a little bit more about that animal or that insect or that amphibian or that bird or reptile or dinosaur. Which one is your most favorite? Do a little research. Maybe write a sentence about that. Like, I think salamanders are so neat, and they are oviparous. It's an amphibian. And what I think is interesting about salamanders is how they're able to run from wet areas. So they live by the water, they crawl up on land. So I'm curious to learn more about salamanders. And I think what's neat also is I really like frogs because I like how they start out with nothing except a tail when they're a tadpole, and then they grow into they grow legs, just like we learned. So that's something that's interesting to me. So I want you to look up something, draw a picture, write a sentence, and send me a picture of it. I'll talk to you soon.